Let's do some behind the scenes questions. What's your pre-show ritual?
Ooh.
Damn, that's a good question, man.
You guys have one?
Haven't actually had to do one in a long time.
It's been a while.
Let's see if we can.
Did we do the good things, bad things before the show?
Sometimes.
I don't really know if we necessarily have a pre-show ritual, but we do have that ritual, which is something that we do or used to do every time when we would just get together, even for rehearsal.
Okay.
We would.
I know we would do it before shows sometimes.
Sometimes we would do it before shows too. We would get the 3 of us or the 4 of us or the 5 of us or whatever, stand in a circle. Everybody goes around in the circle and says one thing in their life that is not going great and one thing in their life that is going relatively great.
Yep.
And then that's it. We don't like go into detail, like talk about it with anybody. It's just everybody's just like
hit it and then
just spitball it. Be like, here's what sucks,
and
here's what sucks. Here's what sucks.
We're not great at it in
suck.
practice, but that's what it is in theory.
Okay.
It's like just spit it out. Say what's not going well. We do a lap. Everybody says what's not going well. You know, like please be respectful and shut up when it's the other person's turn.
Once it's done, it's done.
And then we go around and we say good things. Now we aren't necessarily too great at it in practice. I know I'm awful about it.
Yeah.
Because I usually want to like congratulate my boys on doing whatever's happening good with them and whatever's going bad. I also want to be the one that says that, like, you know, hey man, I'm sorry that's happening for you. Maybe try doing this or maybe do this. And then I know I'm the worst one at it.
But it sounded like you were locked in there.
For the most part, that's usually what we try and do. We call it good things, bad things.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
That's cool.
When we're done, we don't really talk about it. We just kind of leave it in the air. And that usually it brings a very particular like mood and vibe into whether we're just playing in the room with each other for rehearsal or whether we're about to go on stage. Like after you say that and you put it in the air and then it's in your brain, like everybody's equal then. Everybody's got something in their life that's not going good.
Okay.
Everybody's got something in their life that is going good. Fuck all of it. Let's just go play music.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we do. Sometimes it's bad things first, good things second. Sometimes it's good things first, bad things second. We'll do this thing every now and again. We haven't done it in a long time. But before we even talk about it, we go, okay, everybody, you know, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways. How are you feeling? And if we see a thumbs down across the board, then we do good things first, and we finish with bad things, so we know we're all kind of in.
Okay.
None of us are feeling okay right now, so let's all talk about what's making us not feel okay, and then we're going to walk into what we're about to play music on about. So now we're all not feeling okay, and now we're going into this music with that intention. Or vice versa. If we're all feeling great, then we'll finish with the good things.
Yeah.
And then go in all together feeling great, and play the same music feeling great, or play the same music feeling bad, and it does affect how we end up playing that night, whether it's rehearsal or whether it's the show.
Right. Okay. That's pretty cool. That question was, what's their pre-show rituals?
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I like that a lot.
I feel like there were, you know, occasionally we would try a new thing. It never. I don't think anything seriously stuck though.
We tried hacky sack for a little while, but we were
all
all trying shit at it.
I am
I
the
know
number
you and
one
I'd get down
culprit.
on
I am the number one culprit of absolutely missing the fuck out of that kick.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Hey, you'll miss the kick, and then I'll send it somewhere that now somebody's got to run for it.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of same way though. Like if I'm kind of polar opposites. If I hit it, it's going over here. You're over here. But it's going over here.
Hits him in the back of the head.
I go, ha! Oh.
I'm just proud of the fact that my foot made contact with the bag. I was not planning on where it's going.
So you two were not the hacky sack guys. Who were
No.
the hacky sack guys?
Well,
he's more of the
Drummer? Makes sense.
Well, and what's funny about it is actually like I learned how to play hacky sack in high school because I was hanging out with the upperclassmen.
Okay.
It's just that they sucked at it. Everybody else was at least like kind of good at it. And like so ever since then I've like held on to that skill set a little bit. And whenever we're just like screwing around, bored, waiting, we're like, well, let's try hacky sack.
Yeah.
And then I go, wait a minute. How many hacky sacks have I lost in the rafters of Vista Ridge High School
Yeah.
because somebody hit it too hard or threw it at somebody else. And I'm just like, do I really want to repeat that mistake today when I'm, hanging out behind whatever
Can't
bar
think
we're
of it like
playing at?
that, man.
Yeah.
Shit. I haven't heard a hacky sack in forever. We used to do that shit all the time, though.
That's funny.
I was a band kid, cross country kid, but like any time in between, it's hacky sack. dog.
Man, that's one of those things I
Damn.
wish I could get good at. I'm so envious of those people that can fucking do it. I ain't one of them sports guys.
I'm definitely not a sports guy.
I ain't
but-
never been coordinated enough.
okay.
Like,
How do y'all hit this here called hacky sack?
Hell yeah.
That's funny.
I know you had some hack skills for sure. Though.
Yeah. I was thinking we should bring. I should bring the cornhole to the space just so we can.
Dude, hell
I
yeah.
want to get down on some
Just
cornhole.
do that in the hallways. Go upstairs.
That'd be cool. Yeah. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Right.
Huh.
I gotta make some more space in the garage anyway. I might do that.
Cornhole championships at Windish.
I carried. We play cornhole at work once a year. There's like
Tournament.
4 locations across Colorado, and then there's a tournament across it. And we played a couple of years back, and I carried his ass. I tell you.
Yeah, 100%.
We've got a running joke that NPM, his initials stand for can't throw for shit.
Yeah,
I
it's
can
funny.
throw far, I can't throw accurately.
Semifinalists.
It's funny.
Wait,
My wife's dad, his company actually has like a yearly horseshoe tournament.
Oh,
And I'm
that's a
like,
tough
this-
one.
This is like the whitest thing ever, and it's a bunch of white guys.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, horseshoes.
Yeah. I finally went to because they have like a little barbecue thing like every year. I finally got to go to one. My schedule actually matched up, and I was like,
Oh, okay.
"There's not a single other black guy."
I was about to say, I'm glad that you said your schedule finally lined up. Not that they finally invited you. You're like, oh,
Yikes.
I finally got the invite, you guys. I finally am white enough.
you got invited to the cookout, I guess. But the opposite, I don't know.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. That was pretty cool though. Horseshoe is definitely one of those games where it's like you need accuracy. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like this weird, perfect balance between accuracy and power.
Yeah.
Because if you,
Because you can hit the rod, but then the fucking horseshoe is gonna fly off the back end.
Right.
yeah, it's like, woo, but,
yeah.
Dude, honestly, though, same with cornhole, though, but,
Yeah.
you know,
I was about to say, what's that? It's croquet with the little mallets and the
Yeah.
ball.
I still have not
yeah,
played that one, but I've wanted to since I was a kid, just because of cartoons.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to see what's up with that one.
Me and my little cousins actually played the shit out of that back
Actually
in the day.
fun.
No way.
It's actually fun as hell.
Hell yeah.
I had a large family. I think we had including me, 14 other cousins. But
Oh,
when
yeah.
we'd go to Lahana, we'd play croquet in the backyard a lot.
Hey, that sounds like a good
Probably
time.
never by the rules, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Balls and mallets, bro. We were just fucking.
dude, that literally sounds like me in golf. I'm like, you know what? I'm not good at this game, but
Happy Gilmore that
Funny that you
shit.
said that never
Way
played by the
over
rules.
here.
I'm gonna put that clip of you playing pin the tail in the donkey.
Oh, man, Never by the rules.
That's funny. All right, I got another behind the scenes question for you guys.
hell yeah.
What's the most challenging part of recording an album?
The most challenging part? Location.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's probably it.
I was gonna say not wanting to redo things
That one too.
because we're the kind of band where as soon as we think an idea is done, we'll be like, oh wait, we can do it better.
Yeah.
And
And then-
the being your own worst critic scenario.
Yeah, and then it's really hard to resist. We usually just don't resist it at all. The urge to redo things, even with the demo,
Well,
we,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, the first song that's on there is the first song we ever wrote. We
demo.
did it time and time and time and time again, and now 6 years later, people are hearing it for the first time, and it's still not even done because there's no freaking vocals on it.
Right. Okay.
well, I will say it didn't go over the end of everything, in which all the parts got re-recorded and re-recorded and re-recorded across the damn album. And
I think I did drums for the end of everything at least 3 times
yes,
over the course of a year and a half.
yeah. And So the initial answer being location is that we've been broke boys from the get go,
That's how
and
it
so
is.
I do all of the engineering for almost everything we've put out.
Really?
The
Wow.
exception being our single Outcast Me. We did have a connect on Nate's side. Shout out to Enharmonic Studios.
Fucking love you, Eric.
Eric kicks ass. He really did great. But I do everything. I've got to mic everything up. I record everything. I try and mix everything. And I came in very green, and it shows on the end of everything.
Okay.
Like, I'm not particularly proud of those mixes, but I think they get the point across.
Right.
Also, never ever pay for digital mastering, AI mastering. Don't do that. It's going to destroy your work. Don't do it.
Do people do that now? I mean,
I tried it for the end of everything, and it was so bad.
Yeah.
It decimated my mixes. It stretched everything too wide. It made the guitars too loud. The bassist disappeared. Vocalists disappeared.
Gee,
like
there's-
it was fucked.
there's only one. I don't even think it's AI, but there's only one thing I've found that does mastering for me. It's called BandLabs, and it actually does like really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of I gave up on the mastering route altogether, and I just do my own mixes and try and mix them to a level that would be acceptable to streaming services.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe push them a little harder than they're supposed to, and then I just put them out like that. So I kind of do unmastered mixes because I want my mixes to sound like I don't know the first thing about mastering. I'm not going to sit here and pretend.
You got
I
to do
know
the
what
car
that's about.
test. You got to sit in there.
Yeah, that's and all the time. Well, I did that except for this latest demo. I actually blew out the where I plug in the auxiliary port on my car. That's broken, so
Oh,
I can't.
no.
And I don't have a disk drive on my computer, so I can't burn it to CDs and try it that way. So I just had to do like shitty
one of
Bluetooth
those-
speakers in my earbuds and
Yeah.
like try and balance between the two.
Get one of those external like CD drives. Those things are like $5 on Amazon.
Yeah, but they still got to go into the auxiliary port, which is
Yeah.
broken.
Oh.
But I when I talk about location, the big thing is that like I really, if you're not playing if you're playing ultra fast modern metal, crazy, super stupid fast like metal, then you kind of have to do like the programmable drums or whatever to
Yeah.
get like that point
Yeah.
across. But we don't play that kind of music, so I will not do programmed drums. And also, that is absolutely disrespectful to Stewart to take his performance and reduce it to not even him playing. So recording real drums is
Yeah.
having a location to be able to do that is incredibly difficult, because when it comes to recording drums in particular, the room that you put the drums in is so much more important than like the quality of the microphones that you're using, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Okay.
You can get away with some relatively mid mics, but if you put them in, if you have the best mics in the world and put them in the shittiest room, you're gonna hear the fact that it's in the
Yeah.
shitty. The drums can't breathe,
Yeah.
which is very much the end of everything was recorded in room 23 back in Luke's place. Tiny fucking room,
Yep.
too dry.
Yep.
And I tried artificial reverbs and all this shit, and it
Yeah.
just didn't work. You can't hear the drums on a lot of that album. And so we got really, really lucky and found out about Library 21C.
I was gonna say you guys have been using that for
Yes.
sure.
Yep.
And so we try our best to be as respectful as possible in a place like that, and also with the fact that Stewart's talent really is where it is, and that we need to record this album, and we don't have any guitars recorded. We don't have anything. We put Stewart down in the seat, record the drums. He gets a Met, and it records the entire EP front to back with nothing but a click track. And
Good job, buddy. That's awesome. Actually, that's huge.
Seriously,
It's-
though, good job.
That's
Seriously.
fucking huge.
it's probably like the only reason we're even able to get this stuff out is because Stewart can do that. And
That's
I
pretty
will
huge.
say that the library, the 21C library, that studio that they call it, Studio 21C, it's a film studio, not a recording studio. So
Right.
we're
We've looked at it
literally
once or
in a
twice.
library where it's supposed to be dead quiet. And so we've got like the door shut as best as we can, but like Stewart will be recording drums, and then I'll go, okay, I need to run to the bathroom, so I'm gonna hit the record button, walk out the door, wait for the door to latch, and then Stewart can start. And so I'll walk all the way across the entire library to where the bathroom's at, and still hear Stewart playing in the bathroom, all the way across on the other side of the library. And there's people in there trying to do library things in a
Oh,
quiet library, and you
no.
can just hear metal drums blasting through the whole place. But then Stewart churns it out in like less than an hour, so we barely bugged anybody the entire time, and the staff is very, very
understanding.
Yes.
And they're seriously though, actually the staff there at Library 21C,
Roland is amazing.
Roland is seriously amazing.
I appreciate the hell out of that guy.
And we've never gotten in trouble for the amount of noise that we make there. Because, I mean, like, that's what that space is sort of designed for.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like, if anything, we'll have people who will walk up and, like, watch through the control room.
Oh, yeah, they did tell us that the control room side, because there is the glass wall,
Yeah.
that's fully open. So they're going to be like, do you mind if people come watch you when you're doing this? And we're like, no. And they're like, okay, well, it's a good thing you said that you don't mind, because it's going to happen anyway, whether you like it or not.
It's just added pressure to do a good job at that point, because then people are watching.
But it's, I mean, that's happened, probably 4 or 5 times?
Basically every time that
yeah,
we're
like
there.
at least once every time that we've been at Library 21C. Yeah, at least one person comes up and they're like,
Yeah. So,
what's going on in here? Because this sounds awesome.
and like the location to be able to find an adequate place to record drums was initially like one of the greatest challenges. I will say after that, the hardest thing is just all of the responsibility for the mixing is on me. So it's really just the standard mixing issues making me want to punch holes through my computer monitors. That's its own. That's its own thing.
Yeah.
So I would say like all of it is the hardest part after that.
And as if the urge to want to re-record certain parts isn't bad enough, then we get the urge to redo certain mixes over and over and over and over.
We don't talk
and
about
over.
that. We don't talk about that.
That's all me.
We get lost in the rabbit hole.
That's all me.
Well, and also because every time you make and mix, you'll send it out to us, and Nate will have a page full of notes, and I'll have 5 pages full of fucking notes.
Yes.
They're like, all right,
Yeah, you and your fucking journalism
go do
degree.
it, Ian, and only Ian.
And yeah, they'll give me notes, and I'm going to do everything I can to accommodate all of their notes. But also, I'm the only one that mixes, so sometimes they don't quite understand where if one person's asking for this thing and the other person wants this thing, you can't have it all. There's only a finite amount of headroom to be able to mix something. Like, you have to make compromises in mixing.
I always hate looking back on songs and I'm like, oh man, it's like we do that so different now. It's like that would have been way better in the recording.
One thing I will say is probably like with hindsight, every time we record something, I think if we can get more opportunities to play stuff live and get more opportunities to play stuff out, we should and hash out those things that we would like to hear in the song before we commit it to a recording, because I feel like we're kind of doing it backwards now, and we make it a recording first.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then now we're playing it live, and now all of that opportunity to change it, I guess we still can, but we already kind of put the song out, so
Right. That's why it's
things.
like I labeled the first album EP that we put out. At first it was just like the song names. I was like, I'm gonna put demo on the end. All these.
Yeah.
This isn't us.
that's some good foresight.
This isn't us yet.
Yeah. I do that a lot with some of the songs that we play from the end of everything. There's parts that I'm like, man, I could have done that so much better, and then I play it different live than I do recorded.
I try and take solace in the fact, or at least tell myself that nobody notices. I guess.
Also,
You know?
that, yeah.
I feel like that's something we tell ourselves all the time as a band. Is like, oh yeah, nobody noticed that I played this section differently than I do on the record.
Well, it's the funny thing is the 2 songs that we're going to be releasing on this new EP, we've been playing since last year, I'm pretty sure. Eyes of the Emperor, I think. But just this year we've been playing.
Yeah.
But it's going to be funny when it releases because people are going to be like, I've heard this song, but hearing it recorded is like a way different, like, like, oh, this is the song.
Yeah. That's what that was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it depends on the venue. It's like, you don't hear the bass or you don't hear the guitars. They don't put the drums up enough or whatever happens. It's a lot of stuff that goes into play with that.
And the very little bit that I know about mixing from Ian, my computer hadn't taken a massive shit, I would absolutely try to help you.
Right.
I'd probably suck, but also like mixing's fucking hard.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
serious no shit kudos to you for actually making our shit sound that good.
First take.
Seriously.
Could be better. I'm getting there. Golly, like I will say, like even this demo versus the end of everything, I will
Yeah.
at least like pat myself on the back a little bit about.
Makes the end of everything sound like a demo.
Yeah.
Let's re-release the end of everything, except you have to go do all of it all over again. Have fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
End of everything V2, except it's the real thing now.
Except it's the real thing. That's gonna be the name of it too.
The end of everything.
The end of
except it's the real
everything,
thing
except
now.
it's the real one, the second one.
Except it's the real end of everything.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
This time it's serious. No, for sure. Good on you, man. But we've definitely been doing that. At least Donovan and I have been talking about it recently. Like, he does a lot of the stuff. So I've personally, but like we've been trying to deal out like a couple of responsibilities to the other band members. Like, hey, like,
Yeah,
we're starting to get serious. We're starting to try to move, but like,
I've finally been like, all right, Josh, you could do art.
yeah,
There you go.
it's kind of like, hey, like if we want to get serious, we can't have only one person doing it. Because I started
Yes.
helping him with the merch, and like I started like was talking back and forth with him. Eventually, like I got to a point where like I was like, should I pull the trigger? And he's like, yeah, you should. And then he's like, but you're now handling this from now
I
on.
was
See you
like,
later.
I was like,
Yeah.
once you do this, this is gonna be you.
Yeah. Which, okay, for sure. But yeah, you definitely need to what's the word I'm looking for? You need to spread out the responsibility, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've just been kind of, my mind has been taking a relax finally.
Yeah.
I've just been kind of like, all right, you guys do something, please.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's definitely been us lacking.
I can only pay for so much depression medication.
Yeah.
There's
only
only
so
enough
much-
Lexapro to go around.
Yeah. So I mean, you got to do that for sure.
Hymns will only send me so much.
Oh shit! My plug is
Say,
starting
wait
to
a minute,
question.
hold on, bro. You've submitted 3 orders this month. What's going on?
I'm in a metalcore band. Oh yeah, we got
Oh,
that for you.
yeah, okay.
Oh,
we got you.
You forgot to check that box on the form.
Yeah.
We're supposed to send you 6 times as much as we are.
Oh, this dude's fucked up. Sorry.
Oh man. But yeah, it's been nice. It's been nice having everyone actually like pick up some stuff that I've been doing.
I'm glad you're finally able to delegate, my dude, because that's one person can't carry everything with a band.
I feel like my situation was like no one was really like stepping up to the plate. And I would be like, hey, like, let's do this. And like,
Yeah, he does overbook himself a bit,
yeah.
but that happens. People do their thing. Yeah, it's been really nice though. Again, now that, to be honest, like Anthony, our new drummer, was kind of like a big catalyst for that.
Yeah.
He's really into the music video stuff, like the camera works and all that type of stuff. So he's been able to help Don out with that.
Yeah.
But him coming in and like being so gung ho about like, let me help.
Yeah.
Like, it's kicked both
That-
me and Jorge into the gear. Like, oh,
That's where I had my like relief of like, oh, somebody else.
yeah,
Y'all got a good grab with Benzali, dude.
Yeah.
oh my
That's-
god,
Oh yeah.
oh my god. Love Simon, but like Benzali is a motherfucker on the drums. I always write blast beats. I never expect anyone to do it, but he was the first person who was like, okay, I'll try. And like, God, that's so awesome. That's so awesome, dude.
Man.
I remember the
Hell yeah.
the song that we just did this music video for. The song is called "Release Me."
Nice.
But what's it? Yeah, this was like the first song where I was like, I'm gonna write blast beats and like I'm not gonna compromise anymore. Like most of the time, I'm like, I'm writing drums, but like a real drummer will write their thing, do what fits, do what you think fits, right?
Yeah.
This was the first time where I was like, I need blast beats. Like, I'm sorry, like, I can't
I want
compromise
it.
here. And Anthony was the first one who was like, I'll figure it out. He told me, he's like, I can't do what you're doing, but this is the blast beat I can do. And I was like, that's the same fucking thing, but do it, bro. Like, maybe it's not, but like in my ears, I'm just like,
This is it.
that's it. Do it, dude. So yeah,
Doing
he's
gravity
been
blasts instead of blast beats. As far as the guitarists are concerned, it's the same damn thing.
sure.
Yeah.
Man. No, he's a steal. What a talented dude.
Yeah.
Holy
The fact
cow.
that
Really
he
is.
actually he wanted to play with us. It wasn't that we wanted him to play with us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
So
yeah,
that
y'all,
was-
y'all need to hold on to him with an iron.
Yeah.
we're trying, man. We're trying hard. That's why we're pushing so hard.
Yeah,
Again.
he definitely wants to do heavier stuff because he's really into Under Oath, and that's actually the main
Oh,
reason that we
shoot.
even actually got him because he wanted to do Under Oath covers, and
Yeah.
he wanted to do something of the Black Sheep, like an emo night kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
Man.
we did a few Under Oath covers, but then eventually it would just turn into him just being in the band.
yeah. Fuck yeah.
He filled
Honestly,
in-
I could see you guys doing Under Oath covers really, really well.
Oh,
Because it's weird that you brought up Under Oath because they've just creeped their way back into my rotation this year. I hadn't listened to them for a long time, and now I've been binging the crap out of Under Oath lately. Man,
Oh yeah.
hey, if you guys slap out another one at the show or whatever, I'll be singing
Yeah.
along.
we still need to plan that, but now that Anthony's like actually our drummer, like we need to plan
Yeah.
it. We'll probably
Yeah.
involve you guys. We want to do that though, like an emo night. It doesn't have to
Man,
be
that'd be
only
fun.
covers, but that's kind of like what our plan was. We kind of just wanted to do covers of Under Oath.
Yeah. And the
And
thing,
just have a whole bunch of other local bands do just a emo cover night.
yeah. And the
Probably
thing,
hit you guys up for that.
I think the
So-
thing about it was what we were gonna. It was gonna be me, Josh, and Anthony, but then we were gonna bring in like other like a bassist from another band, and another guitarist from another band, kind of like collab thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
My
we do
only
that? Or
request
we
will
could
be
do
if you
other
guys do a
bands.
Boy Brush Red, let me do the screams on that song, all right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Can you and Nate play the guitar solos in Tears Don't Fall Yet?
And
Fuck
Tears Don't
no.
Fall?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I could play both.
I know
At
Ian
the same
can.
time.
He
At
can.
the same-
I know Ian can for sure.
You forget I'm the fucking rhythm player, dude.
Yeah, but there's like guitar duels and shit in there.
Well, yes,
yeah,
but
that's fine and
that
dandy.
little wah pedal flubbly bit right before it goes into the second solo, I've made my own, like, nobody can hear that's not hitting every fucking note, but it's like all wah pedal right there.
No,
So
it doesn't matter.
That's
I
funny.
would personally rather do multiple bands doing that, but we'll keep you guys in mind for sure.
Yeah, that'd
'cause
be
that
dope.
would be super fun.
Yeah.
that'd be dope. That'd be down. That'd be sick.
You got any other one of these questions?
Oh,
had,
I mean, we can go off of those. I was just wondering if you had any organic questions.
I already asked a few.
Okay. Well, so let's talk about the new thing real quick.
All
Let's
right.
talk about the new, what is this called? Blue Street what?
Here, Stewart, this is all you. I'll be right back.
The official name there is the Spring Demo 2025, but
Yeah, let's hear about the new stuff
gonna-
that Cell's got going.
yeah,
Do I have to be the one to talk about this?
you don't have to
Seems
be
like
the
they're
only one to
pushing it
talk
to
about
you.
this. Like, I'm happy to also, jut in here.
Well, so
I think the big one is definitely you, though. That's all you, because it was all you from the beginning.
yeah. Okay.
I didn't even notice it was like. I
Oh,
thought
it's a
there was gonna be
little
some
booklet
lyrics in there.
Well, dude,
It's a booklet with nothing in it.
yeah.
You get nothing. Nothing.
So basically, the point of the demo is kind of similar to the first one that we did. Like I said, when we were looking for bandmates when we were first starting, that came out in February of 2020, and we were looking for new bandmates at the time. And that one had 3 songs on it. It had "I'm All I've Got," "Broken to the Bone," and what was then at the time. It was just called Untitled, but it was actually an older version of Outcast Me.
Yep.
Before
Okay.
it had vocals. It was just an
Okay.
instrumental version. And I'm All I've Got and Broken to the Bone already had lyrics and vocals. And the vocal duties were split between me and Ian. And I wrote vocals for both of those songs. And the point of it was to kind of be like, here's what we need a potential vocalist to do. Write some vocals for the instrumental track, and then we'll go from there. And then bass, learn these songs, figure out what you want to write and how you want to play it, so on and so forth. And that worked. That was how we found Jeremy and Xander. So now that we're in this situation again, we're kind of just trying to repeat that, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we've got 2 songs on there that are instrumental and 2 that already have vocals. And there's a little bit of bass, a little bit of synth, and a little bit of vocals on, well, except for the 2 tracks that are instrumental throughout the demo, so that those 3 roles that we're looking for, they'll have a reference point for what it is that we need them to do. The first track is, like I said, it's all in Roman numerals, but it's just a calendar date, which is November 22nd, 2018, which is our first rehearsal ever. And that was in the practice room at Guitar Center, like we were talking about before. And that song is essentially that first song that we ever wrote, but 6 years later. So that one is just instruments. I don't think there really is even any synth or keyboards on it at all.
Nope.
No, it is bare bones. 2
So-
guitars, bass, drums. That's it.
So whoever we're auditioning for keys and vocals on that song, they have complete freedom to write whatever the hell they want.
I just want to say real quick, I like how you guys want to find, instead of backtracking, you actually want to find like someone to play that like synth and stuff like that.
Oh, man, I
I
would
think
love
that's really
to.
cool.
Yeah, and we've tossed around the idea of playing with tracks, which might be something that we're doing at some point, but
We're practicing the backing tracks at the moment as like a just in case,
yeah.
just to build up the ability to if
Yeah,
we
yeah.
need to.
Yeah.
But yes, if we can get like a full band and not need the backing tracks, because we've never played one. We tried once live, and
It sucks.
we kind of we never had our in-ears that loud before, so our click couldn't be loud enough. So we lost the track, and so Stewart had to pause it, and we just didn't play with the backing track for the rest of the set.
So if we could figure out how to make that work, that would be cool.
Yeah,
as long as we don't turn into a laptop band.
It's got
Yeah.
its pros and cons.
Yeah.
We're definitely feeling like a laptop band right now. We would love
we
a
are a
bass
laptop
player.
band for sure.
Yeah,
It's
we'd
different.
love to get away from that, but like, it's pros and cons.
It's different if that's what you have to do. A
Yeah.
lot of bands just do it because they are trying to cover up the fact that they can't play what they recorded live.
Right.
Mm.
And that's not I feel like that's something that we sort of pride ourselves on, is like I know that I write particularly hard drum parts, and
You also write particularly hard guitar parts.
and that's the thing, is I never want to, like, if I'm gonna fuck up, then I need to be able to fuck up and own it.
Yeah.
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 Like, I would rather do that than have a computer do it the right way for me, just so
Yeah.
it sounds better.
Well,
Right.
yeah, and that's the thing about like our backtracking. It's not like us backtracking what we're already playing, which I know like some bands do. I don't really understand that.
Like the second rhythm guitarist
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, it's like I guess we're not like really a backtrack band. Our bassist is the computer.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
We're looking for a bassist, but we can't hold one down apparently.
Yeah.
So like, we got to move forward. We got to play it. We would like to have a bass player. We'd like to not rely on the metronome and the thing. But like in some instances, metronome is nice.
Yeah. Well, it keeps everybody together to some degree. And
That's about it.
Yeah.
that's the big thing that we're doing when we're practicing right now. We're playing with a backing track. And so, like,
Right.
well, for one, it was really just playing with like a metronome together as a band.
Right.
And then trying to figure out the balance of the metronome to the backing track is its whole other thing. And I figured for me, it was a practice of the skill of building that and playing
Yeah.
with it. But also, like, just our last practice, we played like the same song twice, once without the backing track and once with. And the backing track, the bassist is in the backing track. So,
Yeah.
it's literally just me playing bass, recorded, but it's on the Met.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it feels and sounds so much better in the room, and then the
Right.
energy builds off. So, you're not necessarily too much shade to anybody that uses a backing track for any reason. But if
Yeah.
you're if you're lacking a member, but you need to get out there and do it anyway, like,
Right.
absolutely.
And we've been
no
doing it
problem
for 3 years.
Well, and like you said, it's not like we're recording stuff that we literally can't play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're just backtracking it. Like all the stuff that we do, like we can play and then we'll backtrack. We
Yeah.
make sure like that's actually if there's one focus that Everflare has had, we make sure we can play what we record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we're not trying to do any studio magic. We're not doing any of that crap.
Yeah.
What you hear studio is what you're gonna hear live.
Yep.
You know, we're not doing any of that.
That's been a big one that we've noticed too, like just being audience members for your guys' stuff.
Yeah.
And one thing that I think that probably that we have a lot in common is that exact same thing, is trying not to rely too much on studio magic. And,
Yeah. Can't do that.
make it so. And actually, you know what? I do remember, weirdly enough, the very first show that I think we shared a stage together was like that Christmas party type show at the Steel Pan.
Yep.
Yes.
And
we were
I
hosting
remember
a few of those.
I remember you saying on stage, like, somebody's telling me that they're hearing harmonies on the vocals, and there weren't any harmonies in the backing tracks. And I remember standing there in the audience going, absolutely, I swear to God, I hear harmonies. But I think it truly just was that the vocals and the chords and the guitars meshed so beautifully.
That's what I try
that
and do.
Your brain started to
Yeah.
fill the gap, and you could hear the harmonies in the vocals that aren't there. And that was when I knew that I was listening to a band that I wanted to keep hearing.
Yeah.
Because there's sometimes like I mean like in I think it was Release Me, we were recording our Eyes of the Emperor, but when Van was like, is he supposed to be doing that like with the vocals there with the guitar? I'm like,
Yeah.
we were like, keep listening to it. He was like, oh.
It was for Eyes. For
Yeah.
Eyes, that's a very simple song. We all play pretty in unison, but like it's like a layer building thing. Where like, yeah, we laid down like the first guitar and the drums, and then vocals came in, and our guy who was recording us was like, that doesn't sound too right. And we're like, just wait for like a layer. Just wait for one more layer. It'll sound perfect. Just wait.
Man, that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
When you could tell the engineer to just hang on. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wait.
And the thing about like us playing like the way we sound in the recording and live is like it's nice. You know, you don't really see vocalists with a pedal board, and that's what I have.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So I can actually get that sound of like the recording, but it's still me raw. But you get that little effects from the recording.
Actually, weirdly enough, like what are you running on your board as a vocalist? I've always kind of wondered this because I feel like I've got to do some backup vocals every now and again, and I kind of want to get like a little mini board or something to kind of help bring my. I got to get better as a backup vocalist, but I would like to have something to help. So, like, what are you running on your?
That Zoom board is really nice because you can choose a lot of things. I'm sure there's a lot of way better boards that you can use out there, but the one I found was.
Oy.
The one I found was it's really good. It's the Zoom V6, I think it's called.
Yeah.
But my general Scream channel, it's pretty dry. There's like probably 1% distortion on there just for like that little bit of grit. That's about it. But then everything else is like, you know, delays and reverbs and all that kind of stuff that you can set on there.
Man. Because, yeah, I feel like, I don't know, maybe some choruses or reverbs or something. I feel like for the occasional background vocal that I may do to kind of blend it in a little bit better.
And it's got a looper on there too, which I use quite frequently.
Well, that's a risky tool.
Yeah.
That one's,
it's hard using it.
As soon as you place a loop, that's now the looper's the drummer now.
Well,
you have to be on the loop.
It's easy because we have in-ears. We have the click.
Yeah, we run on click. So
does it loop to the click or does it loop to your foot?
My foot.
It's our foot.
So you got to be on it.
Yep. And I'm pretty much always on it.
Damn. No, that's a talent because I don't trust my foot to get that on beat exactly. Because you know, like 5 or 6 measures from now, it's gonna start sliding out.
Don and I have both been doing that for the whole time.
He uses looper too.
I use the looper as well. I've used it in quite a few of our songs where like I'll do a riff and then fucking loop it and then play something on top of it. Both of us do that, but like since we've been playing with a backing track metronome for so long, we've been practicing.
It's so easy to just hit that.
We've been doing it.
Second nature.
Yeah.
Almost, dude.
That is commendable because the only way I could ever make that work is if it was some kind of MIDI loop pedal.
Right.
It is forced to be on the click because if I made a loop on the guitar, I can promise you that it would sound great like the first 2 measures.
Right.
And then it's not going to be in time anymore.
Right.
Well, at least we keep it down to probably like 2 loops, if you would say. Not 2 measures, but like 2,
like
phrases.
Run the riff through
2 phrases.
I gotcha.
Yeah. We keep it down to that. But that is one comment we got from our guy we recorded with Van because he was asking like, so like you guys don't have 3 guitar players for this part. How do you do this? And I was like, oh, I just got a looper. And he was like, a looper in a metal band? You don't see that.
That's bold.
Yeah.
That's
And that's
bold.
because we have the power of the click in our ear.
Right. We got the power of the click. There's
Were
pros
there
and cons, man.
were there any specific questions that you guys had about our new stuff that we're putting out?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure. Sorry, we're just.
right,
we're just
yeah.
kinda
Well,
going with
honestly,
the
I think
flow.
we were the ones that started like deviating.
No, I mean,
Yeah, I know we talked a little bit about the first song.
Yeah, keep going. That's where
Yeah.
we drifted
The,
off.
The second song is called tentatively. It's called Noose Maze, and that came from the brain of this guy. If you want to explain that a little bit.
Oh well, so the second song started with a riff that calls very much to Eyeless by Slipknot. The lead guitar, it starts very much similarly to Eyeless by Slipknot. But then Nate's rhythm guitar kind of comes in, and when the drums all come in, it starts to feel a little Korn. So the reason I called it Noose Maze is because Noose instead of Slipknot and Maze spelled M-A-I-Z-E to allude to Korn. That's it. It was a song inspired by Slipknot and Korn, so it became Noose Maze. I don't remember why the brackets are around the eye anymore. I think it was just because it was cool.
I think, well, the reason I suggested the brackets was because Maze, just M-A-Z-E, being like, you know, okay, you're going through a maze.
Oh, we did that
It
thing where we
seems-
smoked a little weed and we thought it was cool and we started getting heady about it. And so the brackets around the
Yes.
eye is like the person trapped inside the maze.
Yeah.
Is it- okay, I kind of remember.
Yep.
It's
Yes.
dumb, but that's where the title came from. And I threw like bullshit titles out because we didn't want to just call it
Yeah.
Song 14.
Yeah.
And so like one of my stand-in titles was like Batman or whatever. So like Noose
One of
Maze
them's
ended up being
Subway.
Subway and Batman and Noose Maze. So we
Those are
ended
the
up
best.
sticking to Noose Maze. It's 100% a stand-in title. But
Yeah.
That's funny.
We haven't made a title for one of the songs we're about to play on the 25th, but right now it's called Meshuggah Type Beat.
I like that.
Nice.
You know?
Honestly,
We'll figure out
stand-in
what the hell
names
it is.
really can go very far.
Yeah, whatever the hell it comes to, we'll figure it out. But right now, we just call it Meshuggah Type Beat.
I like it.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, those are the two instrumental tracks. So whoever we're auditioning for vocals, you know, will be like, hey, you know, write something for this.
yeah.
That was another thing too. I wanted to make sure whatever the titles were would not influence somebody's lyrical ability.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted
had
to
a
make
few of those.
sure I did. I stuck my feet in the dirt on that one pretty hard. In that whatever we ended up naming these, it needed to not provide any sort of insight on what the song means to us. It needs to mean whatever it means to the person hearing it.
Yeah, open to interpretation.
Yeah.
For sure. That's awesome.
That's how I feel like Release Me. That's how the storyline is
Yeah.
that I wanted to go for. After you were like, I don't want this to be about.
Yeah. When I write songs, it's usually like breakup, silly bullshit. And I came to
Worth
the
writing
band
about.
with that. But then when I was talking to Don, I was like, we don't need to keep it a breakup song. Like I've done 5 of those. Like let's stop.
Fair enough.
And then one day while, you know, driving 30,000 pounds, you know, I was like, I got to rewrite. I got it. Like it all just came to me like while I was driving. It's good. Once you guys see it, the video, it's going to be so good.
Man,
it's,
I'm
it's
so
so
looking
good.
forward to
It's
it.
so good.
I'm stoked.
It's so good.
For DIY, like it's gonna look sick.
yeah,
It
it's
turns out Donovan and Anthony own enough stuff. Like they could honestly like rent out a space and start their own like radio show. Like, they've got
radio,
the cameras,
video.
mics, lights. They've got everything.
Shoot, dang.
So yeah, it's
Been
gonna
doing
look
this
sick.
stuff for a bit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, yeah, that covers the first 2 tracks on the demo, and then the second 2 they do have vocals already. And similar to the first, similarly
Number
to
4.
the first demo that we did back in 2020, I just kind of came up with some lyrics and threw them on there.
Okay.
And turned them, did my best to impersonate what a lead vocalist should do on
Right.
those songs.
So he's being very modest about it.
And this
Stewart
dude's
is being
good.
very modest about it, but I will say that even though Stewart is not our vocalist and he does not want to be our vocalist, Stewart is remarkably talented easily half of the songs, actually literally half of the songs on the end of everything, were front to back entirely written by Stewart. Lyrics
Facts.
are something that Stewart has written a lot, because I could write words all day, but applying them to a song is particularly difficult. I feel like Nate you feel similarly in that regard.
I can write a poem, but I can't turn them into lyrics.
And so,
And that I've done that probably 2 or 3 times now with Stewart. And
yes.
I'm like, hey man, I wrote a poem. Here you go. Turn it into lyrics. And he goes, all right.
All right.
I guess.
yeah. And so I apologize for interrupting, but and with this one in particular, when Nate and I did not hear the words to this song, but we knew that Stewart was working on them until it came time to go to the library to record some vocals, because they've got a very nice booth to do it in. And the very first time, it was bad.
Oh no.
It was bad. Not performance wise. It was just, word choice and jumbly and like not flowing well. And so like I did my best to tell you that, this is not ideal. And then he came back tomorrow and just made some of the best shit I'd ever heard. That fast. Like it was night and day, the difference in Synthetic Stitched Skin, the title of the song. Synthetic Stitched Skin is not a lyric in the song at the moment. In the last version, it was, and you can hear me trying to say those words out loud. Synthetic Stitched Skin is such a jumble, and making it a lyric, it didn't work at the time. I told Stewart that. He came back the next day and busted that shit out, and now we've got layers on layers on layers, and just made his full like choir built vocal on a like day 1. All right, man, this ain't it. Day 2, holy shit!
Wait.
Completely rewrote the song overnight.
That's funny.
And I do appreciate that. I try not to. Again, that's like the line between like being professional and being pretentious. Like I don't want to be like, I just slapped vocals on it.
Yeah.
Like, no, it took a lot of work.
He truly put work into it.
It took a lot of work, and it was really hard. And it was also difficult because it's a very lyrically vulnerable song, which is something that we're prone to doing. And I mean, it was the same thing with the first demo. I'm All I've Got and Broken to the Bone are both very lyrically vulnerable songs. But
I'm sorry, the way you said it sounded like Broken to the Boner.
Anyways.
Anyways.
Got the Broken to the Boner song.
No pun intended.
Anyways, keep going.
No
You heard
pun.
that, right?
Yeah, I heard it.
You heard it.
No pun
Sorry.
intended. But yeah, so it was lyrically.
That's too good.
I don't want to delve too much into what it's about, because it is very vulnerable and personable. But
Well, I've been listening to the song for a long time, but even as your bandmate, leaving it up to interpretation is a little rough, and I'd like to know what it's about.
well, I think, like, honestly, especially in these past few months with the position that we've been in the band, like, the band has been one of the few like consistent things in my life that has like made me feel like all right.
Human.
Yeah. Like I feel like if we're making progress in the band, then that means I'm doing what I should be doing in life, and that everything is okay, and that everything else will work itself out. And the fact that we hit such a hard like standstill of sorts last year when Jeremy left and then Xander left soon after was like that. I didn't realize how much that was going to affect me subconsciously. Been really wrestling with some like anxiety and fears since that time. And I feel like now that we're coming back together and really making things happen again.
Well, I got a quick question. Was that kind of like a feel of like, if the band like ended, was it like, well, what am I gonna do? Kind of feel
that was definitely a part of it. It's like, because I mean, like, I feel like all of us definitely have the potential to do great things as musicians in other projects, or as non-musicians in whatever else in life. Like, we're all smart, capable dudes who can do whatever we want and be happy in life. But I feel like this is our main thing. And even if it is still unknown at the moment, virtually unknown because we're still at the local level, like I feel like if we didn't have this anymore, then all of us would definitely be a little lost.
Yeah.
Serious
Hundo
loss.
person.
And that's definitely how I've been feeling lately, along with lots of other things that have been happening in my personal life. So like combining all of those things on top of what was happening in the band, I just kind of took how I was feeling and decided to put it into that song. So it is really about like just being vulnerable to and accepting fear and learning how to live with it and turn it into something that can benefit you instead of something that's just going to tear you apart.
Yeah.
Cutting you out of my skin tonight.
Yeah, and kind of maybe figuring out where some of those fears come from in your subconscious.
Yeah.
And the last song.
That's all you.
This is the big one.
Yeah.
Dude, we are so
Strap
fucking
in.
excited about this song.
Oh,
Tell
that
you what.
it's hard to sell a 15-minute song, but
Is that 15
song.
minutes?
13
no.
minutes.
It's 13 minutes.
I can tell you it doesn't
No.
feel like
Half.
13 minutes when you're listening to
We thought we had long songs.
Tell you what,
Oh,
you guys give your opinions on it real quick while I go blow my fucking nose.
All right.
And then I'll come back and try to give a brief synopsis.
like, I don't want to